this is Sung, and I'm the Principal and Director of Sky Academy. And in this episode, what I want to do is do a quick refresher on some maths that should be well within your knowledge banks, and that is dealing with equivalent fractions or simplifying fractions down to their lowest common denominators, all right, or till it can't be simplified anymore. So, for example, the general rule is if we multiply or divide both the denominator or numerator in a fraction by another common number, then the value has not changed, okay? And I'll demonstrate that by way of example. Just say this is a pizza, and we've set aside half of the pizza. Obviously, that half is 1 on 2, right? So we've got two big pieces, right, of which one of those pieces is set aside. Now, 1 on 2 as a fraction is also equal to, what would happen if we cut those two pieces into half again, so that now we have quarters. How many quarters have we now set aside? We've set aside 2 quarters. So we've divided this pizza up not into 2 pieces but into 4 pieces, and we've set aside 2. Now, the number of pieces that we have set aside, have we changed the amount of pizzas that we set aside? No. The amount of pizza that we've set aside is still the same, but the fraction has changed. The value of the fraction hasn't changed, but the way that we've written the fraction, or the way that we express the fraction, has changed from 1/2 to 2 quarters, although those two expressions are equal. If we were to then divide each of those quarters into half again, so that now we have 8s. How many 8s have we set aside? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see how we have not changed the amount of pizza set aside, but we have changed the way that we express the fraction? And here's the general rule. The general rule is that if we multiply or divide both the denominator and numerator by the same number or a common number, the value won't change. So in this situation, all these 3 fractions are equal, right? What we do to the bottom is we multiply it by 2, and what we do to the top is multiply it by 2. And by multiplying both top and bottom by the same number, 1/2 becomes 2 quarters, but they're actually equal to one another, okay? What we do to 4/8 is we can divide this by 4, and we can divide this by 4, and our new fraction will be 1/2, and 1/2 will be the exact same value as 4/8. So whatever we do to the top, whether it's multiplication or division, we can do to the bottom, and we won't have changed the value of the fraction, okay? So as a general rule, when it comes to multiplication and division, it doesn't apply to addition and subtraction, but when it comes to multiplication and division, whatever we do to the top, we can do to the bottom, and whatever we do to the bottom, we can do to the top, and we won't have changed the value of the fraction. So now that you have kind of gotten this as a concept, all right, what I want to do is show you how these fractions can be simplified. Now, by simplified, what I mean is both the top number and the bottom number cannot be simplified any further. So in other words, the top number and the bottom number will not share a common factor other than 1, okay? So what number goes into both 5 and 10? The answer is 5. 5 goes into both 5 and 10, right? Which means that you can divide both top and bottom by 5, and you won't have changed the value of the fraction. 5/10 ends up being 5 divided by 5 is 1, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So 5/10 is equal to 1/2. 24 over 36, you've got a common factor, so another number that goes into both 24 and 36 is 12. So you can divide both top and bottom by 12, right? And the answer will be 2/3. 40 over 55, 5 goes into both. Divide the top by 5 and the bottom by 5, and you get 8 over 11. Yep. The last one, 26 over 39. You divide both top and bottom by, in this case, 13, and our fraction becomes 2 over 3. Now, when you've got a fraction like this, let me give you another one, say 18 over 24. You might not get the biggest factor straight away, but just say you find a factor, any factor. Let's say, for example, 3. You can divide both 3 into top and bottom, and that will give you 6 over 8. And you may find that 6 over 8 can be simplified further. So you divide both top and bottom by 2, and that'll give you 3/4, right? So you might not be able all the time to simplify fractions in one step. It's not wrong to simplify fractions in 2 steps or 3 steps, but what you do want to do is endeavour to simplify the fraction as much as possible so that there is no common factor between top number and bottom number. Okay? What I want you to do is get really good at simplifying fractions, because that will become really handy when it comes to dealing with fractions and rational numbers in general. Okay? Thank you very much for watching, and in the next episode I'll be going through addition and subtraction, multiplication and division of fractions. Thanks.